Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. WWE superstar Roman Reigns reveals which wrestler he thought was better than he was in the ring. The Tribal Chief competed in the men's War Games match at WWE Survivor Series 2025 this past Saturday night. Fanatics shared a new video featuring Reigns on Instagram today and asked the former champion to stop signing autographs after he heard a wrestler named better than him. Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Cody Rhodes, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre were all named, but Reigns continued to sign autographs. However, he quickly stopped once Ric Flair was mentioned, and you can check it out in the video below. Ric Flair recently made a surprising claim about Hulk Hogan's cause of death, but it was refuted by his widow. Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and Brock Lesnar defeated Reigns, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and the Usos in the men's War Games match at Survivor Series. A masked man interfered in the match and hit Punk with a stomp. Braun Breaker capitalized with a spear for the pinfall victory, and it was announced during last night's edition of WWE Raw that CM Punk will be defending the title against the Vision Star on January 5, 2026. Wrestling legend Vince Russo pointed out that Roman Reigns and his teammates seemingly did not care that they lost the men's War Games match at Survivor Series. Russo took to social media following this week's episode of Raw and called out the promotion for Raw general manager Adam Pearce being the only one who cared about the masked man. He stated that the losing team of the War Games match should have been upset that they were screwed over at the PLD. But that was not the case on RIW. It will be fascinating to see what WWE has planned for Roman Reigns in the months ahead. In a development that has sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling world, Roman Reigns has finally addressed a question fans, analysts, and WWE legends have debated for years. Who, if anyone, does the Tribal Chief believe is better than him inside the squared circle? For nearly a decade, Roman Reigns has reigned as WWE's most dominant figure, a towering presence whose impact on the industry has redefined modern main event storytelling. Yet, in a rare moment of vulnerability and introspection, Reigns acknowledged one wrestler he believes surpasses him, not in championships, not in star power, but in a very specific and deeply personal way. The moment came during a closed-door media roundtable after WWE Survivor Series War Games, where Reigns was asked about comparisons to greats across generations. While most expected him to brush aside such questions with his usual confidence, what happened next instantly became the headline of the night. Reigns leaned back, took a long pause, and said, "There's only one guy who ever made me look in the mirror and question if I could go further than I already had. There's only one guy I'll ever say might be better than me at this, and that's Seth Rollins." The declaration immediately stunned everyone in attendance. Seth Rollins, his former Shield brother, longtime friend and greatest rival, has had a career intertwined with Reigns' journey from day one. Yet for Reigns to publicly elevate Rollins, especially during an era where Reigns has portrayed absolute dominance, felt monumental. It wasn't just praise, it was acknowledgement of a peer whose influence shaped the Tribal Chief into the industry-defining force he eventually became. Reigns went on to clarify that his respect for Rollins goes far deeper than wins, losses, or title reigns. "Seth brought something out of me that no one else could. He pushed me past my limits. Every time we stepped in the ring, he forced me to evolve. That's greatness. You don't see that often. You don't get that from many people in this business." His praise sparked immediate discussion online, with fans debating whether this marks a shift in direction for WWE's long-running dynamic between the two titans. Many noted that Reigns has historically been reluctant to publicly admit anyone surpasses him, even among legends like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Randy Orton. But Rollins, the man who betrayed the Shield, defeated Reigns during key stretches of their careers and consistently reinvented himself year after year, has always stood toe-to-toe with the head of the table in terms of talent, storytelling, and crowd energy. Industry veterans reacted just as strongly. Multiple former champions weighed in on social media, hinting that Reigns' admission could signal something far bigger behind the scenes. The long-awaited build-up to one final definitive collision between the Visionary and the Tribal Chief. This wouldn't just be a match. It would be the culmination of 12 years of intertwined careers, broken brotherhoods, championship battles, and parallel greatness. Backstage sources have even suggested that WWE has been seeking the right moment to revisit their rivalry on the grandest scale possible. Many believe that Reigns' new comment isn't a coincidence. It may be a deliberate seed planted for the road to WrestleMania or another major landmark event. Rollins himself has not yet publicly responded, but insiders claim he was made aware of Reigns' statement and was surprised, appreciative, and perhaps even amused, knowing the deeply competitive nature between them. One source close to the situation said, "If there's one guy Seth respects above everyone else, it's Roman." But don't think for one second that Seth wouldn't use this to poke fun at him. That's their relationship. They respect each other, but they never stop battling each other. The fan reaction has been explosive, with millions of views on social media posts capturing Reigns' quote. Many have called it the most honest moment of his entire career, while others believe it may be part of a larger storyline to reignite the Eternal Shield rivalry. Even those who rarely agree on anything in the wrestling community seem united in their shock, excitement, and anticipation of what this could mean. Reigns did not stop there. In explaining why Rollins stands alone above all others in his eyes, he emphasized Rollins' resilience, adaptability, and long-term dedication to the craft. Seth never stopped grinding. He never stopped evolving. Even when the crowd turned on him, even when the injuries came, even when the schedule got crazy, he always found a way to reinvent himself and keep pushing forward. Not everyone can do that. That's a different level of discipline. He also spoke about their shared journey from developmental to stadium main events, calling Rollins the man who shaped my career in ways fans will never fully understand. Fans immediately recalled iconic moments across their rivalry. Rollins cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31, Rollins attacking Reigns when the Shield first split, their numerous championship matches, and their years of tension on and off screen. Each chapter built the foundation of Reigns' current era of dominance. Without Rollins, Reigns admitted, the Tribal Chief might not exist. The quote added new layers of depth to one of WWE's most iconic brother-turned-rival relationships. It also reignited discussions about whether Rollins, not Reigns, was the true in-ring leader of the Shield. Analysts noted that Reigns has finally reached a point in his career where he feels comfortable acknowledging his peers without jeopardizing his aura of superiority. Some believe this newfound transparency from Reigns signals the eventual closing of his legendary Tribal Chief chapter. Others argue it may strengthen that chapter, showing Reigns evolving beyond arrogance into a more mature, introspective figure as he moves into the next stage of his career. Meanwhile, WWE fans are already fantasy booking an inevitable showdown. Should Rollins return fully healthy, a Reigns-Rollins collision at WrestleMania 42 or at a major stadium event now feels more realistic than ever. The emotional stakes would be unmatched. The history is already written. The story merely needs its final definitive ending. Critics have praised Reigns' willingness to highlight Rollins' value during a period where WWE's storytelling hinges heavily on legacy, hierarchy, brotherhood, and betrayal. And within that framework, there is no duo more iconic than Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins. No matter how much time passes, no matter how many world titles neither man wins, their rivalry remains the gold standard for modern wrestling character work. For now, Roman Reigns' statement stands on its own. A bold, honest acknowledgement from a man who rarely shows cracks in his armor. It reinforces the idea that greatness recognizes greatness, even when separated by rivalry, ego, and history. And as the world digests this powerful admission, one thing becomes increasingly clear. Seth Rollins may be the only man Roman Reigns has ever feared, ever admired on this level, and ever considered his equal, or perhaps even his superior, in the ring. Whether this bombshell comment leads to a future storyline, a long-awaited rematch, a renewed brotherhood, or the final chapter in one of WWE's greatest rivalries remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Roman Reigns declaring Seth Rollins as the only star superior to him is a moment that will echo throughout the industry for years to come. And when these two once again step into the ring, whether tomorrow, next year, or at a future WrestleMania, the world will be watching, knowing that behind every strike, every reversal, every stare, and every heartbeat lies the history of brothers, rivals, legends, and a legacy built on competition. Roman Reigns may be the head of the table, the tribal chief, the most dominant champion of his era. But even the greatest acknowledge the truth. And today, the truth is simple. Roman Reigns believes Seth Rollins is the one man who has ever stood above him. And that single revelation may change everything. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.